Hey, how you doing, guys? Got a real special video for you today. I'm walking on a train track, and I saw this train just sitting still on this track over here, and just had to do a video of it. I've always been amazed by trains and the train economy. Trains have been a long time around for, 1700s or before, since the Western days. So it's a lot of history. Vital key element in today's economy, that's for sure. Transfer trucks can't do it all. Plus, the roads would be too crowded with trucks. There's not enough trucks to transport everything that needs to be transported. Actually, I think that we should utilize trains more and get more trucks off the road, because it's a better way to transport goods, services, chemicals. These are giant chemical containers here on this stretch of train cars, and it goes long ways. Each one of these cars, cost who knows how much money. It's unreal how much money goes into the railroad industry. It's amazing. I want to do a quick tutorial of these train cars and show you the components. Now, I don't work for the railroad industry, but I can show you what I know, or tell you what I know and show you what I can, rather. And so this must be a hydraulic pump of some sort. So this valve here opens and closes. That releases something, probably some kind of pressure. And see these giant hoses here? I'm not sure if that's for the actual chemicals, or if that looks like a hydraulic hose. That's what it looks like, but comment in the comments if you have more information. It looks like hydraulic hose. Probably is, because it takes a whole lot of hydraulic pressure probably to release this pinch point here. And this releases the train cars, separates them. These wheels here are probably the wheels that are controlling the release of the product here. I know it is, because you can see it goes through here, and it releases a point right here, and it comes out, whatever's in there. But look at these huge wheels. These wheels are huge, massive. Huge leaf springs here. That's the suspension of the train car. Here's a tank of some sort, probably a pressure tank. And they've got all these cars nice and painted with black, and nice steps here. We can actually kind of go up here one step and give y'all a feel of how it feels to be up here. And it's just so cool. But everything serves a purpose, and these train cars serve a very important purpose in America's economy. Without trains, I don't know where we would be. We certainly wouldn't be as far economically, as a community, as a whole nation. We just wouldn't be as rich as we are and successful without trains, because that's what makes it all happen. Not enough credit goes into the train industry, the railroad industry, and also the guys that work for the railroad industry. I want to give a shout out to you guys and women, because you're an important part to our way of life, and we don't really think about that, hardly ever. We don't really think about the railroad industry at all. But I just wanted to make this video, and here's some more graffiti. This is illegal, by the way, but artists, they like to come out at night and perform their art displays on these nice newly painted cars. They look forward to a newly painted car without any artwork on it. They think that's their canvas, and they just can't wait to they get a thrill out of that. And it's just an art thing. It is illegal, so I'm not encouraging that. But here's some more. You know, it's just people's spirits. You know, it's people's way of showing what they can do. It's part of their voice, because a lot of these people, they're, you know, in dire circumstances. They probably don't have much of a voice or a way of displaying their artwork. So this is their way. They say that they're going to display their artwork anyway, on buildings, train cars, it doesn't matter. That's just America. I love it. You know, it's just so exciting to walk down a clear set of tracks and seeing what you can find, which it's not much to find. You might find a railroad spike here and there. I've seen a few, and you see some old angle irons, you know, on the side there. You know, every now and then you might see an old piece of equipment that the train yard has discarded and they don't use anymore. You do see a lot of different things. You got to be careful though walking on the train tracks, because it can be some people living, you know, on the outskirts of train tracks that are homeless, and they just are there, and you don't know whether they have bad intentions or good intentions. And if they try to pull off anything or try to go for it or do anything bad, there's no one around. You know, this is deserted. Look, there's no people around. You know, the road is over there. See? There's just no one around to witness anything on a train track. Remember that. So be careful. Carry protection of some kind if you can. Here's some railroad ties. See, look, there's a bent one. Look at that, guys. Wow. Anyway, I encourage you to get out and, you know, at least walk some tracks and gather your thoughts and, you know, just appreciate our way of life, because we have it so good here in America. You know, other countries don't have it as good as we do. You know, we have, some people have food assistance, some people have housing assistance. But even if you don't have those things, there's always a place nearby that's willing to help out and give you what you need here in America. Well, other countries don't necessarily have that. You know, some of them don't even have clear water to drink. So I know that some people think that we have it rough here, and some people do have it rough. I'm not disputing that, but we have it a whole lot better here in America because of the railroad industry, because of the trucking industry, because of the manufacturing industry. That's what built America. And I'm really sorry that a lot of those jobs got taken away and those businesses got shipped overseas when they did. I'm not sure exactly when the time period was, but I believe when it was Bill Clinton was in office, that's about when this happened. It might have happened before his time, but I specifically remember a lot of this happening when he was in office. Now, whether he was responsible for it, I don't know, but that was a big blow to America. These cities, I mean, that's why they're in the shape they're in, guys, right now, because of the manufacturing industries leaving these areas, these cities. It was the heart. It was the pulse. You know, everybody had a job. You know, everybody had things options. You know, they could go work and they could make money and they could be proud of going home and making a great living and you know, being able to afford a home, being able to afford a car, and have plenty of money left over and have plenty of money left over to save. I mean, these were great times, and it just all got snatched away within a short period of time, and it left the whole nation grasping for air. And America has really been in a decline ever since. And you can see it. Just go to your inner cities. You can see it all around. You can see the degradation. You can see the buildings falling down. You can see the disrepair. You can see the desperation. You can see the inner city neighborhoods, the hopelessness. But after all that, America prevails. After all that's happened, and the blunt force trauma that America took when the steel jobs, when the manufacturing jobs, when the tobacco jobs, when the fabric jobs went away. I mean, these were desperate jobs. I mean, these were desperate, vital links to the economy that basically probably 80% of the city population depended on. And then it was just taken away. I don't know how we survived, but we did. And that's just the spirit of America. That's the spirit of each and every one of you. You know, and so remember that when times get tough and when you think that it's no hope, well, just remember what America's been through. And you're a part of this high spirit. You're a part of America's strength. You know, we all have to pull together. I don't care if you're a kid on the street, or you're just somebody working in a store, or you're just somebody giving somebody a good word one day. You know, we're all vital links to the success of America. And you know, so don't underestimate your importance. Don't underestimate your key role in society, in this world that we live in, because you're important. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not. You know? And anyway, guys, I just want to leave it at that. And thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that I got to show you some of these rail cars. You know, these massive chemical containers that are used by the railroad industry. It's just so mind-boggling how much money and time and effort this all takes. And you know, we can't underestimate, we can't take that for granted anymore. We have to give the railroad industry its due respect, and thank them because it's so important, guys. It's so important, and it's all connected. You know, a lot of these trains, they carry cargo containers, which is carried by transfer trucks also. So it's all interlinked. Of course, a transfer truck can't carry one of these massive chemical containers, but they do carry cargo containers, and I know we get a lot of goods from, or mostly all of our goods from, cargo containers. And so we have to think about that. Anyway, guys, I love you. Peace. I'm out. Later.